welcome back for a very exciting round of box office predictions. An extremely big weekend at the box office is upon us, and not just because of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I actually think there's a few things that are going to do pretty well this weekend, and Dewey is just about to join us. He's getting ready for his big moment. Before we jump into the new round and all of our Star Wars predictions, let's hit the recap from last weekend. First, kicking it off with what went down at Fantasy Movie League. We actually didn't have any perfect lineups in the predictions with Perri League, just a group of high scorers, and those high scorers are Devil, No Plex Zone, Particular Set of Movie Skills, Zac Efron's Pool Boy, Divu's Cineplex, and The Force A. Nathans. Congratulations, guys. Week 2 in the award season is going well for you. Hopefully, I catch up in the very near future. All right. Rolling into what happened with my top 5, I think some of my numbers were off, and, I'm a little bummed about that, but I always have to be happy for a movie that exceeds my expectations when I like the movie, like Jumanji. Jumanji: The Next Level opened up at number 1 with a whopping $59.3 million. Right after that, we had Frozen 2, which took in another $19.1 million. Then we had Knives Out with a great hold, dropping just 35.7% and making another $9.1 million. The disappointments of the weekend, though, were our other 2 newcomers. Richard Jewell opened up with just $4.7 million, and Black Christmas kicked off its run with a mere $4.2 million. Big bummer for those movies, but it's on to a new weekend, and we've got 3 new wide releases that could be cracking the top 5. And, we got to begin this conversation with one, because I was tempted to keep Knives Out in the number 5 spot, but after Bombshell had a limited release with a very high per theater average, and it's going wide this weekend, I had to give it number 5. So yeah, that makes Bombshell my number 5 pick this time around. Clearly, this one is enjoying a good deal of award season buzz right now, and looking at that per theater average of $78,000, that is a nice total right there. I think the predicted range right now for this one that I'm seeing is $7 to $14 million. I'm coming in on the lower end of that range, but it is worth keeping in mind that, yeah, it could wind up higher on the charts than where I have it right now. Looking at a comp for this one, I'm going straight to the movie 3 Billboards, because when that opened limited, they saw a very similar per theater average for their limited release. That one had $80,000, and then when it went wide, it made $4.5 million on a $3,000 per theater average. The thing is, though, 3 Billboards took a more gradual approach to that wide release, whereas Bombshell is going limited release, weekend 1, and now it's going wide. So I want to bring that per theater average that 3 Billboards saw for its wide, $3,000, up to $5,000 for Bombshell, which would actually put it right in line with how things played out for the movie Black Swan. If it does hit that per theater average, Bombshell could be taking the number 5 spot with a grand total of $7.5 million this weekend. All right, now we are on to that number 4 spot, and this time around I'm giving it to Frozen 2, which will no doubt feel the effects of both Jumanji and now Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, but I do think it could have a decent hold. Looking back at the movie Coco, Coco, the weekend before The Last Jedi hit theaters, had made a similar amount of money as what Frozen made last weekend with Rise of Skywalker hitting theaters this weekend. So when Coco faced off against the opening weekend of Last Jedi, it saw a drop of 46.1%. Again, I am reminding myself, it's not just Rise of Skywalker here. It's Rise of Skywalker and also Jumanji, which is still doing pretty well. So I think the percent change has to come up for Frozen, but I'm not going to bring it up too much. I'm giving it a 50% drop, and that would mean the movie is making another $9 million. Now we have reached the number 3 position, and that's where I have one of our new releases. It's the movie Cats, and I do not know what to make of Cats right now. One, as a movie that exists, and also what to make of it at the box office. What I suspect the studio might be thinking, or had been thinking, is maybe we'll open as big as something like Into the Woods did, which hit theaters Christmas time 2014. That movie opened up with $31 million. The thing is, that movie wasn't dealing with a Star Wars movie, so that number is coming way, way down. Also, Into the Woods was a solid film. Cats is not. I don't even know how to describe it at this point. It was just this bizarre experience. It's not a good movie, but there was something, I know this is going to sound bad, but there was something about having the communal experience of laughing, not with, but at the movie with a full house that I mean, I had a good time with it for whatever that's worth. So I do think there is going to be this bizarre buzz that could kick it up another notch. And I also think a really handy tool to have in my back pocket right now is the per theater average for the movie 9, which came out in 2009. When that one opened up, it only made $5.5 million, but it also only opened up in 1,400 theaters on a $3,800 per theater average. I'm going to round that up briefly to 4,000 even, and that would put Cats at about $15 million. But again, I'm going to bring back the bizarre quality of this movie. I think there is going to be some sort of word of mouth that really could boost the box office because, hey, I'm fascinated by this thing. I don't know what to make of it, but I can't stop talking about it. So taking that $15 and I'm going to give it a boost. I'm going to put Cats at an opening weekend total of $17 million. And now it's on to the number 2 spot. And this time around, it's going to Jumanji, The Next Level. I think the perfect comp for this one is going to be Kong Skull Island. That movie opened up with $61 million, which is kind of similar to what The Next Level took last weekend. And then weekend 2 of that movie's release, it was actually going up against the opening of Beauty and the Beast, which was huge, and it's not too far off from what I think Rise of Skywalker could make this weekend. That weekend, it dropped 54.4%. The thing is, though, Jumanji has just a touch less to lose and also has a slightly higher cinema score, so I am going to bring that percent change down just a tad to 52%, and if that's what Jumanji The Next Level loses, it's going to take the 2 spot with another $28 million. It is time now for that number 1 spot, and of course, it's going to Rise of Skywalker. I mean, obviously, this thing was coming in at number 1, but the question is, where is it going to fall on the charts compared to the other opening weekend totals for the other recent Star Wars movies? So, exhibitors are apparently saying that it's on pace with something like Last Jedi. That movie opened up with $220 million. However, tracking reports are giving a number of $175 million. So, where is this thing going to fall? Step 1 for me on this one is going to be committing to the fact that I think Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is going to open up underneath The Last Jedi. How much lower is it going to go? I'm taking into account right now that going into Last Jedi, hype was high from Force Awakens. There were a whole bunch of positive reviews. But then that movie came out, wound up being super divisive, and it didn't really have the legs that Force Awakens had. Now, not only are we dealing with the lingering backlash to Last Jedi, but we also have some very middling reviews out there, and I don't think any of that is going to work in the movie's favor. And it's kind of reminding me of the reaction to Lion King this summer. Going into it, so much hype, people were talking awards super early in the season, and then look what happened. It wound up again with middle-of-the-road reviews, and the buzz burned out pretty quick. You know, I don't want to knock that $191 million start the movie had. It's still an incredibly high earner, but I do think that Rise of Skywalker could fall right in line with that one, and I think that's what I'm going to go with here. A $190 million opening for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. That, of course, brings us into the recap portion of this video. Kicking off my list with number 1, it's Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. I'm predicting $190 million for this one. Then I've got Jumanji The Next Level at number 2 with $28 million. Cats opening up at number 3 with $17 million. Then it's Frozen 2 taking the 4th spot with $9 million. And then Bombshell enjoying a wide opening of $7.5 million. All right, that is it for me this time around, but you know what to do now, and it's even more urgent this weekend. I love hearing what you guys always have to say about your top 5 and your number predictions, but in particular, Rise of Skywalker, what do you think? Am I going too low on it? Do you think it has any chance of catching Last Jedi? Weigh in the comment section below. Dewey's destroying the set. It's time to go. But before I go, we have Patreon shout-outs. These are going to a great group of 6 right now, and they are Charles, Craig, Ryan, Paul, Andrew, and Corey. As always, guys, thank you so much for joining the campaign and for your continued support, because I know you guys have been here for a while, and I greatly appreciate you sticking with the campaign. Dewey is ready to just smash everything, so I think I have to leave you guys right now. But don't leave this video without liking and sharing it, and we'll check back in next week to see how we all did on our box office predictions.